seeing, those things are softer than your roof surface, so those get damaged quicker and more easily by hail. And then when they go up on the roof, they look at all the soft metals on the roof as far as the vent boxes. I think you have like 8 vent boxes, 2 are plastic, 6 or either 8 or 10, I don't remember off the top of my head, but 2 are plastic. That stuff lasts forever up there, of course. But the metals, they do get bent up with hail. Rain caps, various different things on your roof. Again, they're softer metals and they get damaged more easily than the roof surface. Then they look at the whole roof surface for wind, for missing crease, damaged shingles, and then they do the test squares to count any hail hits or anything like that. So when we do your inspection, we do find damage to the metal box vents on the roof. That as far as the roof surface itself, there's, on the shingles, there's not any impact points. There's not any embedded granules. There's not any broken matting to suggest that the hail was big enough or strong enough to actually damage the shingle, which is a good thing. Your roof is in good shape. But the boxes are bent up. So those are covered for replacement because they are damaged by the hail. So while those would be covered for replacement, but the cost to replace them is less than your deductible. Okay? So you have a deductible on your policy of about $5,911. Which means you're responsible for the first $5,911 of damage, and then anything that's covered above and beyond that, Allstate pays for.
Okay, ma'am. I heard what you're saying. You're using some roofing verbiage, or your conversation. I'm listening to you, but without looking at it on paper or understanding the roofing technology, or everything you're speaking on. I can only go by in between and try to figure out what are you talking about. But anyway, in the meantime, I didn't really call because of no hail. They came out here and started telling me I had hail damage. I called because the roof needed to be fixed. So to say whether it was the hail or not, and this and that, the roof needed to be fixed. I had 4 different roofing companies that go up there that verify it's in bad shape. Even the first guy that came out, I don't know what they went back and changed their conversation or whatsoever, but all this stuff was recorded. They acknowledged that the roof is in bad shape. And is also, yeah.
No, I agree. The roof is, it's about to live its life out. Your roof, I do believe that this one is probably original to the home build. So
no, it's not.
It's not?
Ma'am,
Okay.
they know everything about the roof when they came out. I don't know what part. Okay, what is your title again?
I'm an adjuster.
Okay, so it was an inspector, and I had different roofing companies, and I got different estimates, not just this year, from another year, and from another previous time. Okay, so what I'm talking about right now is the feedback they came back and gave you is total opposite, and you saying origination, beginning. Everybody knows we're not talking about origination. We talk about 2016, and the guy that came out on the 7th, I believe, or the 6th, whatever date that was, he said himself, he said, this roof is in bad shape. And he went up there. He the one that started telling me about the hail, this and that. They had pictures and everything showing me that, hey, this is what's going on up there. Then I brought him inside. I showed him what's going on inside with the leak. So I don't know what information you got as the adjuster, but this roof needs to be fixed.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at all the photos and all the information that was taken in at that inspection, and there's really no evidence of hail to the roof surface itself. I see a couple of areas of granule loss, which is just, what the roof does with age. So as far as any hail, it wasn't documented. Now, if you have a contractor that does, think that there's hail on there, he is welcome to send in.
It is not just hail. It's damage. Every roof damage is not hail, ma'am. They the one who
Okay, well,
came and told me about the hail damage. I did not go into the office because I said it's hail damage. I went in and told them that the roof is deteriorating. And
okay.
they when they
Well,
inspect when they
deterioration, okay,
ma'am, what are
Ms.
you
Brown,
trying to say? All these years,
deterioration,
I'm just asking you this
deterioration and
question.
age related, okay, deterioration and age related damages, like overall condition, those things aren't covered by your policy.
Yes,
Your
it is.
policy is in place. No, ma'am, it's not. Your policy is in place to cover the things that happen suddenly and accidentally, like a wet hail or a windstorm, or flying debris hitting it during a tornado, or a tree hitting, falling and hitting your roof. One-time events that cause damage. When things that wear out by working, like your roof, they only last for so long. Age, mechanical damage, condition, just granule loss and blisters, which happen over time, those are not covered by your policy. They're not covered by any insurance policy.
Okay, but is your inspector and is your Mr. Dan Brown, who is the agent, the owner, his one of his people, he said, working your network is the one he sent out. Okay, the first day that the Mr. Luna, whatever his name, Mr. whatever his name is, the first day he came, he went up there and he said, "Oh yeah, you got all this hail damage and this and that, and you could look over here and see how it tore up the screens and it did this and that." Okay, then the next day, his whole a couple of days later, his whole team came and they went up there and showed me pictures. Okay, so why they came back and gave you the feedback? There's no hail damage there and everything's looking okay. It ain't all that bad. What is the reason for a valued customer paying their insurance on time, being consistent, being a valued customer? Why Allstate don't want to acknowledge that my roof needs to be fixed? What is the reason why they went back and changed the conversation and don't want to fix my roof?
Okay, well, I'm looking at your roof. I'm looking at over 150 pictures of your roof that were taken during inspection, and there's nothing that indicates hail.
It
There's
is
nothing
hail.
that
He
indicates
he he
wind
came
damage.
down and told me the pictures and
Okay.
said it was hail damage.
Who is he? Your contractor?
The contractor that Dan Brown chose.
Okay. So contractors look at damage very differently than your insurance carrier, okay? Because contractors are looking at everything.
Well, that's
on
who
the
he
roof,
sent
the
out. That's who
blisters.
Dan Brown sent out. He said that was a
Okay.
real good guy, and he worked correlated with Allstate.
Okay. And I understand that, but he's still a contractor. So he's looking at everything on your roof, ma'am. He's looking at blisters and granule loss. He's looking at mechanical damage. He's looking at nail pops, those kind of things that do come with age. But when we look at damage, we look at damage that would be covered by your policy. And that kind of stuff is not.
Yeah, I do have hail
So,
damage.
okay, well, your contractor is welcome to send in photos of what he's
He's
considering
not my
hail
contractor.
damage.
It's Allstate. Dan Brown sent them out.
Okay, if you are going to use him, he is your contractor. Okay, so if you're going to use him or any other roofing company, when I say your contractor, I mean anyone that you contract with to replace or scope out your roof. Your contractor can submit photos if he believes that we have missed any damages during our inspection, and those would be reviewed. Maybe we missed something on the entire roof surface, or those will be reviewed and either it'll be re-inspected or,
Yeah, I need let me see. Let me check. Let me see. Think I have something written here. But the guy came down off the roof and he talked to me personally. I mean, it ain't like I'm going by the actuality that he actually came down and talked to me and he showed me pictures and he said, "Here's your damage. He came down and
are you
talked to
talking
me.
when you say he? Are you talking about the person that your agent sent out?
Yes. Do you have that name of the person of the agency that he sent out?
I don't have a name of any contractor.
I mean,
All I have,
yeah, what you reading off to me, telling me that you found that these are the findings. Who wrote that? Who gave you that information?
the inspector that we sent out.
And his name was Galvin, right?
Let me look. I'm trying to open it up. Yes, his name was Gavin.
Okay, so when Gavin walked away, I asked him, I said, Gavin, could you give me the pictures? Can you give me some feedback? He said, no, I'm not going to give you any feedback. He said, I'm going to let the, contractors go up there and see. So when he leaves or whatever, the contractors go have the pictures. They went up there and they let me see the pictures, and they told me it was definitely hail damage out there. So that's what I'm saying. It's two different stories. So why is it?
Well,
I don't know if it's part of the Allstate is to try to save their money and say, okay, say she don't have any damage. I mean, what is the reason why they won't give me what's due to me? I mean, if the roof is showing what's going on with it and the hail damage and what's going on up there, why won't Allstate honor that when I've been paying faithfully on this policy?
Okay, that's what I just explained, Ms. Brown. Your contractor is the contractor that you let go up there after Gavin, he's the one that's saying that it's hail damage, okay? Not us. So he's looking at all the damage on your roof, period, be it age, mechanical, or anything like that, and he's saying, yes, it's damaged and needs to be repaired or replaced. We're going by the inspection that was provided by our licensed inspector, and I am a certified licensed adjuster, and nothing that he has shown me is hail. So there is a difference in the way your contractor is looking at it and the way we assess your roof. So if your contractor believes that there's hail on this roof, he can send in photos of what he believes we missed and an estimate, and your claim would be reopened to be reviewed.
Okay, ma'am. Then at the same time, you trying to tell me when I took him in the house and showed him what's going on with the roof and the drip that's on the inside and the ceiling, all these years I'm paying on my roofing and my policy, just because you're saying, your inspector, just because he's saying it's not hail, what about the other problem that something else is going up there? How's water getting through there if there's no hail damage?
Well, hail damage doesn't necessarily let water through, because for hail damage to let water through, we're looking at 3 to 4 inch hail that punctured a hole in the decking. There's a lot of ways water gets through your roof. It could be coming through a flashing, through a pipe jack. It could just be wind-driven rain from that, recent storm, just because of the direction and the force with which it was blown in. So, and sometimes that happens, and then the inside, as long as it's, recent and not long-term and ongoing, then that would be covered for repairs in that room in which it's leaking.
Okay, so I still have a claim because there's something going on up there. You don't want to label it hail, and they're the one who labeled it hail, and you don't want to label it hail, then how they going to fix the roof?
Okay. I'm not telling you that you don't have a claim. I'm just saying that there's nothing that's covered by your policy damage-wise on your roof at this time that we are finding. So,
I mean, if something is coming through, there is some damage up there, and my policy do cover that.
Okay. It could be sleet being blown in just at a pipe jack on that one storm. Okay, it could be you have several areas where there are what we call nail pops, which is the nail backs out of the decking over time. Well, when that nail backs out, then water can drip through that hole because it's not in there and it's not covered. So water could be getting through those places. The nail pop itself, that's an age thing. That's just what happens to roofs over time. And so that wouldn't be a fix for your roof that would be covered by your policy. But the sudden leak within the home would be. So just because there's water coming through your roof doesn't mean that your roof has policy covered damages.
Well, with me paying it on there on my policy, it have roofing and all that. It should be covered for. I should be able to have a claim for that. So I'm just going by the the contractor is the one that proclaimed the. I don't know anything about calling reporting hail damage. They are the one that went up there and told me hail.
Okay. So your contractor can send in any information regarding what he saw on the roof for review. Because based on the information we have from our inspection, there is no policy covered damage on the roof. And your roof is very specific. Like, yes, you do have a policy in place, and you've had it in place for a very long time, and we appreciate that. But your policy is very specific in what it does and does not cover. It doesn't cover everything that could happen to your home. Okay? There are things that it doesn't cover. There are very specific things.
Roof services extended coverage included.
Yes, but it doesn't cover roofs for certain damages. That just means that it covers your roof to 100% replacement cost for the damages that your policy covers. It doesn't cover it for everything. Okay?
I mean, you just talked in a complete circle because you saying 100% coverage, but it don't cover everything.
It covers the cost of 100% of the replacement if it's damaged very specific ways. If it's damaged in other ways, it is not covered. Okay?
So he went up there and did not mark the damages. That is, you don't have to be a roofer to come outside and look up and see the damages, and that's what the contractor that Dan Brown requested that he sent over here went up there and said himself that it was so when they went back and gave you a briefing or sent you the paperwork, they all changed their speaking tone of what's really going on up there, and I don't understand what was the purpose for that instead of taking care of the customer to get the roof fixed.
Okay. No one changed their speaking tone. I haven't spoken to your
No, not you. I'm saying their speaking conversation, not their tone. What they told me per conversation, it has switched according to what you're telling me now. This is not what they told me.
But that's what your contractor told you, correct?
Yeah.
Not what my inspector told you.
Right.
Okay. So there is a difference. They haven't told me anything different. I haven't even talked to your contractor that was there.
But what's the purpose for them going on the same day? They said that the contractor and the inspector go on the same day so they can both do evaluation. What was the purpose of it? For them coming on the same day?
Usually the contractor goes up there with the inspector and says, hey, look at this, and this.
They did go up there together.
And they have, okay, and everything that I'm seeing on here is not covered damage under your policy. If your contractor would like to send in a supplement request based on damages that he's seen or he thinks that we missed during the inspection, he can submit that to us for review. But based on the information gathered by the inspector, there was no policy covered damage on that roof.
Okay, they have on here your home and your home policy consists of the policy decorations and policies for the following. Please keep them together. On here it also say roof surfaces extended coverage endorsement, AVP 144.
Yes, but it still
And
goes
before
back
I
to
even
the
got crossed over to Dan Brown, I went over my policy thoroughly with the agent that had my policy before him. And we went there. We included everything to make sure that my policy was in the right place and up to date. That's why when you
okay.
talk to me, I already did this over a year ago. Sit down and go point by point in my policy to let me know what actually I'm covered. They even
Okay.
increased the square footage so it could cover more of this house. So I'm fully
If
covered.
you were
I'm looking at the policy while I'm talking to you.
Okay. If you are looking in your policy, starting on page 11, it says losses we do not cover under coverages A, B, and C. A is your dwelling, B is your other structures like sheds and fences, and C is your personal property. Letter A goes on to say we don't cover flood, we don't cover water or substance backups, we don't cover overflows, we don't cover water.
Okay, what's all that money they're collecting every month for? What is it supposed to be covering? What's the point of the all that money they take every month? And the
Answer,
yearly
your policy is in place to cover sudden and accidental damages. There are 3.5 pages of specific things your policy does not cover, and that has been in the policy since the beginning. So it's just, the policy can't cover every instance that happens. Insurance policies are put in place to cover sudden and accidental damages, not the long-term wear and tear that is part of homeowner maintenance. So, and that's the difference between long-term and sudden. And what we're seeing on your roof is just age-related damage, which would not be covered for replacement.
age-related as in what?
Repair.
Age-related as in what?
Granule loss, because that just happens over time, and what we call blistering, which is where granules pop off due to the heat and the different, moisture gets trapped underneath the matting, it heats up and little granules pop off. That's how a roof ages. I like to, explain it to people. Your roof wears out by working just like the tires on your car. So over time, it just loses its ability to protect your house. And that just happens over time as it ages, and that's not covered by your policy.
So your inspector went up there and said there's nothing wrong with my roof.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with your roof, Ms. Brown.
He said the hail is not covered. He said he's not. He said there's no hail damage, so you're not going to cover it.
I do not have any hail or any wind damage documented at our inspection. If you or your contractor believe that we've missed anything, there is a supplement process, and they can submit photos showing things that we've missed, and we will review that.
Okay.
Okay, the only damage I'm seeing right now is to the soft metal vents, and those would be covered for replacement because that is hail damage that's documented during the inspection.
Okay. All right.
All right. So if your contractor wants to send anything to us, it sounds like he has a relationship with the agent, so he should know our claims email address. And then if he does have any questions, please forward him my contact information, and I will happily speak with him for you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you so much, and have a great day.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Of Dan Brown, where you're in good hands. Para español, oprima el ocho. This call will be monitored and recorded. In a few words, tell me why you're calling today.
Speak to Dan Brown.
I'm not sure about that. Once more, how can I help?
I want to speak to an agent.
Okay, let me get you to someone who can help. One moment, please.
Thank you for calling the Dan Brown Allstate Agency. This is Dave Brianna speaking. How may I assist you?
Yes, may I speak to Dan Brown?
Okay, yes, ma'am. I'm going to put you on a brief hold and try to get him on the line for you.
Okay.
Hey, thank you so much for holding. Mr. Brown has not returned back from lunch yet. Is there a message that I could take for you?
Could you have him call Melinda Brown? My number is 210-508-0686.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Miss Melinda, I will get this message over to him now, and I'll put it on his desk for him to return your call after he returns from lunch.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Okay,
you're welcome.
bye-bye.
Have a good one.